Hello there, and welcome to Weekly Cooking with Becky. Or lately, not so weekly cooking with Becky. We're gonna have a little chit chat while I do my recipe. So I will admit my recipe is kind of one of those semi-homemade. If you ever used to watch HGTV, there used to be this semi-homemade with Sandra Lee. Kind of where I'm going with this one. I'm ridiculously busy right now, so the concept of fully homemade just is not on my table. So we're gonna be making keto magic bars, but we're gonna be making low carb magic bars. So if you are keto, you need to go and watch one that I put up a couple of years ago, because this ain't it. This is truly low carb. I'm being totally honest from the get-go. And it is truly semi-homemade. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna get two from the brand Diamond, either pecan or walnut pre-made pie crust. And you're gonna just smash them down in a Ziploc bag with a stick of melted butter so that you can turn that into the bottom layer instead of making a homemade almond crust, okay? That will fit a 13 by 9 or two 8 by 8 or 9 by 9 pans, okay? Then you're gonna have your dark chocolate chips, and then from there, most people do walnuts and coconuts and things like that. Our house, we do butterscotch chips and we call it a day, but whatever toppings of choice. And then there's always that sweetened condensed on top. And there's a new brand on the market. And I will tell you, I can't tell you how many net carbs there are. I can only tell you how many total there are because the math has not been done on the net carbs yet. That's how new it is on the market. They have not subtracted the sugar alcohols. They have not subtracted that part out anywhere that I have found. So they've only done the total carbs minus the fiber, but you do get to subtract the sugar alcohols, but I don't know. I just know that it's less. So anyways, it's low carb. It's not keto. I'm gonna walk through this and have a little chit chat. And that is to say, this may or may not be my last video of 2025 unless I see the numbers spike up and see the comments spike up. I have over 1,000 subscribers. I have enough to be monetized and have not made a penny. And I've had enough to be monetized for over a year now. And my average views are 68 to 150. And with 1,000 subscribers, I should be getting 1,000 views. And then you guys should be sharing them. And just my friends alone, I get 2 shares. And I have over 300 friends on my page and only 2 of them are sharing. So I'm just calling it out. So having said that, if that's what it is, why am I spending the money and the time to do this if it's not really benefiting anybody? So if it's truly benefiting you, you need to be sharing. If it's truly benefiting you, you need to be sharing it. And you need to be hitting the like button, and you need to be subscribing, and you need to be turning your notifications on so that I'm getting more than 100 to 150 views per video. Otherwise, I can't keep spending the money doing this when I'm not making anything doing this. So that's my heartfelt message to you. I've really enjoyed 4 years of being here, but putting all of the time into this and putting the extra dollars and making some of my own recipes, recreating some recipes, finding easier ways to do stuff takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money. And I could just be eating my lifestyle, but doing it the way that we want and not always coming up with something new all the time, unless there's something in there that's helping me do that. I'm a teacher, guys, I'm a teacher. I don't have the kind of income that other social media folks have. So the views need to go up, the shares need to go out, the subscribers, all that stuff needs to happen, or this channel may go silent. So with that, let's do a video and let's make it a good one. So here we go. Semi-homemade low carb magic bars. I've done step one. Step one is I did the pecan crust, and I did 2 of them, and I did the stick of butter, but I'm not doing a 9x13 pan. I'm doing 2 smaller pans because I have a relative that is diabetic, and I've got to make sure that I watch what they have, and they loved this treat. And so one of these is going in the mail. So, AKA 2 pans. To this, you have, and we all know that this is technically a no carb when you subtract out the fiber and the sugar alcohols. So half on each. This one stays pretty much legit no matter what version of magic bars you use. Now, for those of you who are gonna do the walnuts, I got nuts in my crust, so I'm covered there. And if you're gonna do the coconut, that's great. Our family is a no on the coconut. You can, I don't know, say what you want about that one later when I'm not around. How about that? Say something in the comments like, I can't believe you don't like coconut. My husband does, but there's a couple others of us in here. All right. And then when we were growing up, you had to have the butterscotch. Sadly, Lily's no longer makes them, so we're kind of mixing brands here. So I have some Chalk Zero. I took about a cup, and I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle them. Now, Lily's also sells them in a ginormous bag, so you have them to make so many recipes. I'm like on recipe 4 out of that bag. But the good thing is you buy their bag and you have it for a long time, because you can make a lot of things with just one bag of chips. So I will give credit to that. That is another gonna be a 0 net. The only difference between the 2 is Lily's uses stevia and Chalk Zero uses monk fruit. Okay, here we go with our new ingredients. Splenda now makes a sugar-free sweetened condensed milk, but I want to show you all that it is caramel color. Anybody who grew up with this knows that it was always white, and you knew it was done in the oven when it turned this way. I'm gonna have to probably touch and feel as I go, because with sugar-free cooking, when you pre-make the keto version of sugar condensed milk, you actually cook it to a caramel before you bake it. So that's kind of what they've done. And so what I will tell you is, ingredient wise, there is some milk in there. Allulose is ingredient 2. That's what's gonna make the caramel color. There's fiber. There is some maltodextrin and sucralose. That's what's gonna give it a higher carb count, but allulose is ingredient 2. So you have a total carb of 22, a fiber of 5, so that would be 17. However, I don't know how much allulose and sucralose, because those 2 can be subtracted. We know maltodextrin you can subtract half, which is still even more. But like I said, I do not know how much can be subtracted. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of, and that's obviously thicker. So I'm kind of experimenting here, and I'm gonna just kind of lay it over. And so I'm gonna kind of work with these 2 cans for a few minutes and get them kind of placed evenly as much as possible. They seep through when they cook. This is definitely thicker than the regular Eagle sweetened condensed milk, but it's gonna work. It's just, I'm gonna have to watch the cooking. So this is gonna take me a few. What I'm gonna do is come back once I've got it all on and spread out, and then I'll tell you how long we cook for. Okay, so I have covered them. They are thoroughly covered. They look good. You're just not used to seeing caramel already You're used to seeing it kind of white and turning caramel. So like I said, baking is going to be interesting for me to tell when they're done. A traditional bar, and it says it cooks exactly the same way. So if that's true, 350, 20 to 25 minutes. And I'm just gonna kind of judge the edge crunchiness and then the middle that it's set. And then we'll kind of go from there, but it should seep all the way down through to the crust, just like the keto ones do. But this is, like I said, the low carb version. And I really hope, since this just came out a couple months ago, that within the next year, there will be a net carb listing on the can, so we can get nutritional facts going on this particular brand, especially if it cooks up well and tastes well. I did take a little spoon just to try it, and it tastes exactly the same as regular. So I'm excited about that. Let's see how it cooks up, and let's see what we get when we're done. I'll see you at the end. All right, so they are out of the oven, and I will totally let you know that they do have a much darker look to them, okay? It was very hard for me to tell. I went the full length, I went the full 25, but they appear to be okay to me. Having said that, the taste test is gonna be what really, really gives this away. So let's go. You can still see the sweetened condensed milk going through, down through the layer. There's the crust. Tastes exactly the same. The color changed because, like I said, they went ahead and caramelized it before they put it in the pan. So it is gonna have a darker look. Taste-wise, exactly the same. So this is good. And if you don't wanna take the time to make the keto sweetened condensed milk, you can do a low carb sweetened condensed milk right at your local grocery store. And like I said, by next year, they'll have out the nutrition facts for the net carbs. Now, is this my last video or not? I guess stay tuned. Help me out. I sure hope to see you again. Bye.